Reverend McCorry, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine, Chief. How are you today?
I am doing super fine. That title, Reverend, causes me to ask you, what is your role in society as a ministry, within the ministry?
Absolutely. I am, and it's a God-ordained position, but I am the founder and national chair for the National Congress on Faith and Social Justice, and we're responsible for waking and shaking what we call the sleeping giant of our historic churches and getting them back involved in the fight for equality and reform.
Is the church slacking in its responsibility these days?
You know, the church is slacking, and I think it's slacking for more than one reason. I think it's slacking because we have some clergy that just don't know what direction to go in and don't know what to do, and I think that they're very careful, and rightfully so. And so I think that our responsibility, as opposed to knocking them, is to say to them, let us show how you can engage and what our place is in a world where Black lives matter.
What about the community? Is the community slacking?
The community has absolutely been lured to sleep, I think, in so many ways. And so, you know, we look at finger pointing. Is it the community? Is it the church? I hold that it's all of us. And all of us must love each other enough to not turn on each other, but to turn to each other. The church must awake the community, and the community must re-engage with the church, because so many folks have walked away from organized faith. Whether you talk about the church, the mosque, the temple, the synagogue, folk have walked away from the faith, and folk need to come back, but we have to give them a reason to come back and re-engage.
Okay, I understand that your organization is bringing a program to Tuskegee. What's that about?
Absolutely. We're excited to be bringing the National Faith and Social Justice Conference to Tuskegee, October the 26th through the 28th. We will be at the Bethel Baptist Church on the 26th with a kickoff worship, because we think worship must be a central part of everything we do. And so we'll be at the Bethel Baptist Church at 802 Bethel Street, where the pastor is Kenneth G. Jones. We're appreciative of the fact that he is accepting us and allowing us the opportunity to be with him in worship. We're absolutely excited. On Saturday, October the 26th, there will be a series of workshops and a panel discussion, and that will take place at the Booker T. Washington High School at 3803 MLK Highway. We're excited about that as well. There will be workshops dealing with mass incarceration and what role faith plays in ending mass incarceration and breaking the school-to-prison pipeline. We will be dealing with the need for criminal justice reform in this country. There will also be workshops on how we lend support and become better partners in the faith community to our students, whether at HBCUs or other institutions of higher learning. Political empowerment. There will be a tremendous workshop on political empowerment and restorative justice. Now, finally, there will be a panel where we will talk about all of these issues near the afternoon, where we will talk about the role and the place of faith in all of these issues. And I'm excited about that panel. We have some good local folk. There's a Sheriff Andre Brunson that will certainly be a part of it, along with a number of other people right there in Tuskegee, bringing in some of our national leadership to help to formulate that panel. So we're excited. Finally, on Saturday evening at 6 o'clock, we will reconvene at Booker T. Washington High School, where we will have Professor Jamal Joseph. Professor Jamal Joseph is the director of the Mass Communications Department at Columbia University in New York City. He is a writer, he is a producer, and a director of movies. His latest film, called Chapter and Verse, we will actually get a chance to look at that movie. We'll be able to critique it with him. There will be a question and answer session. Let me also say concerning Professor Joseph, he was an original member of the Panther 21. He was Tupac Shakur's godfather. This is a man who was a political prisoner who took all of those experiences, became a college professor, and is an Oscar nominee. So we're excited to be bringing Professor Joseph to Tuskegee, Alabama, through, again, the October 26th through the 28th. Sunday morning on the 28th, The place is to be announced, but there is a presidential brunch, we call it, where we will gather together with some next steps. Where do we go from here? And we will be ending that brunch in time to make sure that we can get to the house of worship and the house of prayer, because we know that in this movement, faith is still essential.
Rev, I congratulate you on pulling together something that is relating to those kinds of things that can bring some better understanding of social justice in this nation, because I'm telling you, we are in a serious dilemma in this nation at this time. When I say to you, the present political climate, what do you say?
You know, when you think about the present political climate and you look at so much of the infighting taking place in Washington, D.C., there's a lot of partisanship that's going on. I tell folks, it doesn't matter to me whether you're a Democrat or Republican. What matters to me is who it is that we're putting in office. We emphasize in local communities the need for people to become politically aware in the local community. It's just as important, if not more important, than what we do at the national level. Who's going to be the prosecutor? Who's going to be the sheriff? Why is any of that important? Who is my state representative? Who can I put my hand on as that person who most adequately represents me? And then even when you look at the national community, our Congress people, our Senate people are elected in local communities and then sent to D.C. to represent us. We must get involved and do a better job of having people that represent our interests and our values who are representing us, and we can fix a broken system.
What happened to love in the world, Reverend?
You know, love is almost a bygone word, and we've got to reclaim that. Our people, when you look at what's happening in the urban core of America, when you look at what we're doing to one another, it does not bode well in our fight to be recognized nationally. And so we have to teach again our young people that the most supreme word short of God himself is the word love, because God is love. We must again reach out to our young folks. We have to reach out to our young girls and remind them that having that brother who has made you all those false promises babies does not mean anything to him. A no good brother will walk away from you and your baby. And we've got to teach our young girls in love that we've got to start looking out for ourselves again. We have to teach our young men. Prison was not meant to be some rite of passage. You know, anybody can be a bad boy, but real men become the kinds of symbols that we want to lift before people. I think it's going to take love to educate. It's going to take love to reach. Love must be in our messages from the pulpit to the street corner. We must again focus on the love. No one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. And I think that love has to be a part of that conversation.
Well, you're exactly right on that. And let me ask you this. Who do you want to show up at Bethel Baptist Church and Booker T. Washington High School?
You know, I'm absolutely excited, and we want to invite the community to come out and to show up. And what we have already done is, if you register with us, we're on Facebook, National Congress on Faith and Social Justice. We are even foregoing at least 100 folks in the Tuskegee area that don't even have to pay. There's a fee, I think, of maybe $49 for the entire weekend. We're willing to forego that fee. We think this conference is so important that if we have to do something special, but we want certainly faith community leadership to be there. We want people of faith who are ready to help that pastor, because the pastor can't do everything by themselves. It's going to take like-minded people to begin to institute programs in the church, and we certainly want our young people to be in the room. So there's going to be something there for everybody. That would-be politician and that person who just wants to understand what representation looks like. So we want to open this up to the community. And if again you go to our Facebook page at National Congress on Faith and Social Justice and you're anywhere near Tuskegee, reach out, let us know that you want to attend. We don't want finances to keep people from being there. So we want to invite folks to come out, and we can have some creative things that we can do to bypass those fees to get people in the door.
Okay, Rev, we put it out there. I hope people are conscious enough to pick it up, respond, and take care of business on that weekend.
Absolutely. We appreciate it. October 26th through the 28th. We're looking forward to seeing you in Tuskegee.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chief. Much love.